Today we're talking to people who suffer from uncontrollable rage. And James suffers from intermittent explosive disorder, a condition that causes him to have uncontrollable rages that sometimes leads to dangerous acts of violence. He's afraid that his anger is going to end up hurting his wife and his 2-year-old son. Take a look at this.
I feel like my temper is like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. I do remember being 8 years old thinking about violence, thinking about, how I just want to hurt someone. I probably seriously hurt probably 6 or 7 people, actually breaking bone and stuff. I got into a fight, I hit a guy, I literally shattered the whole side of his face. I broke pretty much every bone from here over. That scared me. That was actually, I believe, the last time I hit someone. I actually had nightmares for about 6 months after that incident. I'm really afraid of how much damage I could possibly do. But there's been instances where I would end up throwing something, and by doing that, I'm afraid that I might accidentally hit either my wife or son. I know I've scared my son a couple of times. That's not normal. And I don't want my son or my wife to be scared of me. Honestly, I'm scared to death.
James, we made 2 attempts to get your wife to come here. She left the airport when you were coming to get on a plane, went home. She almost got on a plane last night and just couldn't deal with the anxiety of talking about this. The difference between, I think, yourself and our other guest is the fact that this has been something that's been part of your life, your entire life, has it not?
Yes.
Violent outbursts, right?
Yes.
But before this, you've asked for help before also, have you not?
I did go to anger management classes, and what happened was I successfully completed them, and then, but to me, it wasn't the same. Going to anger management classes.
And you also know
that was different.
You got over.
Right.
Because you know what to say and how to do and how to answer the questions, so that you never really dealt with the issue.
I just shut up.
Well, this is what your wife Tara says. She feels, Tara, that's how she pronounced it, right? Tara. So how she feels about your anger. Take a look at this.
So you can see in his face that he's mad, and then he'll start yelling, and all of a sudden you see all of his muscles tense up. Then I don't know what's going to happen, what's going through his head, what's going to happen next. He's not able to control his anger and can just easily go out and hit somebody. That does scare me. Because he's put his fist up before. James has never done anything. This could be the one time, where something could happen. I'm scared to leave my kid at home with him by himself. I try to blow it off, but it's really hard, to blow it off when it happens so much. That's kind of the point where it's like, well, he says he's sorry. Do you believe him and forgive him? Because you know it's going to happen again soon. I always tell people in their relationship like this to leave. If I got a little one, I want to work it out. I want to stay with him. I want to see him get help and get better. But then at the same time, I got to protect my kid.
And even though Tara couldn't be here physically, she's decided to join us by phone. Tara, you there?
Yep.
Talk to us for a second about how bad is James's anger?
He can go days with it being good and nothing happening, and then all of a sudden, over the smallest thing, he can blow up. And
that blow up isn't just a little scream and yell. That's an eruption, like we see the glasses being thrown, the bottle being thrown. What was that? What did you throw that bottle over? Do you remember?
I threw the bottle at the entertainment center.
But why? Do you remember what caused it?
We were in an argument, and Tara said something that just made me snap. I just grabbed the bottle off the table and threw it.
Okay, please welcome psychiatrist Dr. Peter Favaro to the show. Thank you so much for being here. This is happening all over America, in households everywhere. At least he's taking the time to say, I want to do something about it, but this is going to take some serious, deep-rooted help. It's not?
I got a couple questions. Well, first of all, it affects between 7 and 8% of the adult population in the United States. It's a tremendous number. Secondly,
that's that explosive disruptive disorder.
Right.
7 to 8%.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yes,
that's
sir.
a lot. Second, let me ask you a question. Have you ever gone for a neurological examination?
I don't believe so.
Okay. One of the differential diagnoses that you have to make with certain kinds of explosive disorders is you have to rule out the possibility that there may be something that is physically wrong with you in your brain. Certain small tumors can cause people to act like this, and it's just something that I like to see ruled out in cases like this. Okay. Separate and apart from that, the kind of help that you need is sort of everyday help that you can, where you can check in with somebody so that your mood and your stress level can be sort of checked up on a day-to-day basis, because it would be a good idea to help get to you before you reach that point of explosiveness, or before you reach that point of getting out of hand.
I mean, my fear is that in any given situation, you grab and throw, you grab and hit, you pull things, you bang on the wall. At any moment, if your child was, you didn't see him, he's running through the kitchen. You grab the bottle, throw it. Next thing you know, we're talking with Tara here on the stage about how to get her husband out of jail because he accidentally killed his child or hurt his child in that fit of rage. Or what if that one time you go after her and you go to punch and you slip and you know what I mean? These things happen. Patrick, what do you think? I mean, you've helped him.
You need to know his story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all due respect, it's not a neurological disorder. A kid that was sexually abused by a man has a problem. I mean, it's obvious that he... Remember I said anger is almost like a cry for love. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm screaming out, I hate you, I hate you. What I really want to say is, please love me, why didn't you love me? If you look at his history, it's obvious why he's angry. And we did do some work yesterday going back to some of that to try and release the anger and help him to get to the place of understanding that it wasn't about you. There was nothing wrong with you. You didn't cause it, create it. You're not to blame for it. You get to the place of forgiving them and realizing whatever happened in the past is finished, it's done with, it's over. That's when you're set free.
All right. Well, you know what? Let me take a break. When we come back, this has been, again, this is something that's lasted throughout your whole life. One of the things that when you said, let's go through his history, I'd like to sit down and be able to talk about every single thing that happened. We'd spend the next 3 hours talking about everything horrific that happened in this young man's life. Along the way, there were people that stepped in, that put boundaries on you, tried to help you, and when we come back, we'll meet one of them. We'll be back right after this.